This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Welcome back to another edition of Hometown Heroes on Family Life. I'm Mark Webster, and this week's guest is Brittany Eisenman, who organized fellow Northwest Pennsylvania farm families to ship hay to North Carolina farmers in desperate need after flooding from the remnants of Hurricane Helene.
It's all a God story for sure. A few days after the storm, the Lord woke me up in the morning, and we have a small farm in northwestern Pennsylvania near Knox. Our neighbor farmed 2 of our fields, and he passed away, unfortunately, last June, and we had the hay bales that he had made off of our farm. The Lord just said, donate your bales to the farmers in North Carolina. I said to my husband, the Lord is laying this on my heart to do. And usually my husband is my pump the brakes part of our team here. And he said to me, he's like, make some calls. And when he said that to me, I knew God was up to something. If he gave me the green light, I just kind of knew that God was going to do something. Mm-hmm. I started making calls to try to find somewhere where we could donate our bales and find someone to haul them down. And we just quickly realized that there wasn't anything like that happening in our area. And so the rest is kind of history. The Lord just made the way himself, like he likes to do.
When did that first shipment happen?
Our first load was sent down on October the 8th.
And where are we now?
We are at load 103 and 104.
Did you ever envision that from that one morning message?
No, sir. No, sir. We started with 35 round bales and just our load. We started reaching out to try to find folks who have been in hay relief work before. I had one person that I had been speaking with, and I said, how do you handle donations? And she said, I don't get donations. I pay for every load that goes. She said, you're going to have to pay between $1,500 and $3,500 a load to get your hay where it needs to go. And I was devastated when I got off that call, Mark, because we didn't have the money to do that. Yeah. I tell a lot of folks, I've talked about it online, but I went out and I laid in my driveway and I looked up at the sky and I started praying and I said, Lord, I know I clearly heard you. I clearly heard you tell us that we should do this. And we can't even afford one load, let alone fast forward just a week and we had over 300 bales donated. We can't do this by ourselves. You're going to have to make a way. And within a few hours, we had 3 haulers call and say, I'll donate my rig, I'll donate my time, and I'll donate my fuel costs to get it there. And that's just kind of where God started showing us that he meant business with what we were doing.
Put this in a little perspective for us. Most of us, all we know of hay bales is we drive past them on the highway and say, oh, look, hay bales. But in the agriculture community, it's like a lifeblood in some ways, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is. And we have one of the most incredible ag communities in northwestern Pennsylvania. This whole time, we've had farm after farm call in and we have had donations come in. Hay kind of comes in every shape and size. Big, large round bales, 4 foot by 5 foot, sometimes bigger, large squares that can be 3 by 3 by 7, 3 by 3 by 8. And then we have small squares that, most folks are familiar with. And so we've had donations of every shape and size come in, but you kind of need a bigger rig to haul any type of hay because it does get heavy. And so we've had folks with every shape and size of rig as well. But the crazy thing was when we started receiving bale donations in our area, we also had reached out to other areas over into the Ohio line, southwestern Pennsylvania, east of us. And we quickly realized that last year during harvest season and during hay growing season, a lot of our areas surrounding us experienced drought. And what we know now, looking back, with God's hands on everything, was we got rain when we needed it specifically for hay growth, and we didn't receive rain when we didn't need it. So we had an extremely good hay crop last summer in northwestern Pennsylvania and gave everyone an extremely good harvest, and they had more than enough to share with folks in need.
So many moving parts in this whole thing. So many things that had to come together that makes it, for sure, a God story.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Every single haul is a God story. every single hauler that has come to us, we have not had to put out many pleas for haulers. We've had to do a lot of praying, but not a lot of advertising. And it truly is, Mark. It seems that when we have a farmer in need, a bale donation comes in that's specific for that farmer, and then a hauler comes. The Lord just brings it when it's needed, and obviously at the right time, because his timing is perfect.
That's Brittany Eisenman, who organized fellow Northwest Pennsylvania farm families to ship hay to North Carolina farmers in desperate need after flooding from the remnants of Hurricane Helene. Please join us again next time as we search for your home, your town, your hero. It's Hometown Heroes on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.
From the breaking news stories that are shaping your world to the issues that matter most to you and your family, Family Life News will keep you up to date on what's happening. You'll get the information you need and the faith-based perspective you want from a news team you can trust. Family Life News, covering New York, Pennsylvania, our country, and our world, with hourly newscasts, weekday mornings and afternoons, and our weekday broadcasts of the Noon Report and the 5 o'clock Report. Family Life News, the news you need when you need it. A friend you can turn to, Family Life.